SEC confirmed over the weekend that, or I guess last week, that their X account, which was hacked in a sort of very obvious cryptocurrency scam, was a SIM swapping attack. Well, okay, hold on. It's the SEC. Why would they set up any kind of like secure MFA technique?
Right.
They had it, and then they asked for it to be removed for troubleshooting, and this is where like takeaway change control policies.
When we're talking about SIM swapping attacks, for anyone that doesn't know what that attack is, it's basically someone social engineers the cell carrier themselves to just port the number to another phone. All that matters is it's a social engineering attack that targets the carrier themselves. Don't use SMS or any other cell phone based mechanism for authentication for MFA. Like, just don't do it. There's new gates. We got Maven Gate. Basically, this is an Android thing. Access to projects can be hijacked through domain name purchases. This is something we've kind of talked about on the show, which is like supply chain of development-related packages. So yeah, I guess this is a Java thing. For those that switched away from Java after Log4j, I guess you made the right decision.
This isn't a new thing, and it's not necessarily specific to Java. I think all of the package managers have kind of suffered from something like this over the last like 2 to 3 years.
True.
So really the answer is to get, and it calls it out in the article, the answer is to get projects like SigStore and like signing into these packages so you actually can trust that the build was signed by the actual package creator and not just by some random person on the internet. And until we actually get those things into these larger open source repositories of packages, we're just going to see this over and over again. It's going to be Groundhog Day.
Fortra warns of critical GoAnywhere MFT bypass. They've posted a security advisory for their own product. There's a CVE for it. It allows an unauthenticated attacker to create an administrative user for the application. This is a file transfer application, which we know from last year that is a big target for companies, for threat actors, and companies need to really secure this quickly. Basically, the endpoint can be deleted and the service restarted to mitigate the issue. So there is a workaround that doesn't require patching if you can't patch. If you're listening to this and you use this product, pause right now and go remove that line and restart the server. We all know and love Pwn2Own, which is a sort of bounty-based hacking festival, I want to call it. Conference. But basically, they had a kind of special version of it, Pwn2Own Automotive Edition 2024. Some researchers hacked a Tesla modem and collected awards of $722,500. Basically, this is a cool place where gray hat or white hat hackers can go and collect seemingly large payouts for hacking stuff.
This goes all the way back to 2015, though, when they hacked the first sets of Chrysler cars by pivoting into the CAN bus from the Sprint network. It's that a lot of these things just never were intended to be internet exposed. To make matters worse, some of those manufacturers are actually starting to standardize on running Kubernetes at the edge as a means of deployment of that car firmware. So,
ew! If I'm ever driving and something pops up that says Kubernetes, I'm pulling over. Like,
there was this super interesting, massive Kubernetes misconfiguration. I don't think that we've seen the net impact of it yet. If you have a multi-forest trust or bidirectional trust between two domains, that trust is transitive. Basically, every Kubernetes cluster that was provisioned by Google allowed authentication to like literally anyone inside of Google Cloud because the scope is just called system authenticated. And really, folks just thought that that meant authenticated inside of their own, like in the context of their own tenant, but really it meant all of Google Cloud.
So you're saying if I had a Google Cloud and I somehow got network access to someone else's GKE, I could have gathered things I shouldn't have been able to gather?
You don't have to have network access because the beauty is that these APIs deploy internet accessible by default.
So basically, someone who knew about this and enumerated them all from the internet could have a ton of information, which is why we're basically waiting for the other shoe to drop on whether someone evil actually gathered this or not.
Correct.
Amazon Ring, the video doorbell service, said that they're going to sunset the whole request for assistance tool, which allows police departments and other public safety agencies to request and receive video captured by the doorbell through the Ring's Neighbors app.
you look at the headlines, you look at that first thing going, oh, they're not going to give law enforcement the information anymore. No, they still will with a warrant.
I'm going to play devil's advocate here and go for it, as I usually do. There was a couple murders in San Diego, and within like a week or so, they were able to catch the guy because of this.
I mean, don't get me wrong, there's going to be judges signing things that probably shouldn't have been signed, and we have a way of dealing with that. I think it's just when there's literally no verification, it's so much more ripe for abuse.